Hello, and today we're going to be reviewing two series with King versus Zerk and then Zerk versus King. No, Zerk versus Noob is the second one. So it seems we have a NFE mirror here. King starting out with a passive start while Zerk on the right side is going for a more aggressive playthrough, it seems, with spamming his farmers everywhere so his sentries are spawning in correct positions. His he buys a second engineer instead of going for sentries, which is usually what people do, as you see here with King. And now he goes for a second, and well, the second engineer is upgraded to a sentries now, actually. And does King just read this out for a plantation? He's off by one banana or $1, unlucky, and goes for his plantation round 5. And then goes for the faster engineering. Zerk is still sending, and now he starts to send blues after getting his plantation. Zerk is being really aggressive here, especially for an NFE mirror. He sent greens and blacks, and now King is doing the same, but there's no AI anymore since the round is practically over. So these greens are layering with nothing. So that forced a faster engineering and a second engineer, so that's really good for King. So King has more defense, but is up in eco, and they both have basically the same amount of money on hand. So we see here Zerk is buying the same amount of defense as King has and has leaked a bit less than him. King's still being really aggressive now. He forced the sprockets after Zerk sold his farm, sold his engineer, and forced a boost with yellows and a sprockets after he went for that farm. He's still sending more yellows after Zerk sells his defense, so that's interesting. Now King is up a good amount of eco, but is down in money on hand, but is up in defense, and is also down in farms. So we see here that King boosts to whites here because he wasn't able to afford his Boon Trap in time. Does Zerk go down here? He buys a cleansing foam there, sells it, goes for a ninja after boosting. They both all out here. This is really going to be close. Zerk sends Camo Pink, so does King, and I think King goes down here. Yep. So that's a 1-0 to Zerk right now. Let's see on the next game. So we're here on Ghostly Coast now. We have a sub farm glue versus boat farm mortar gameplay. No anti-soul round ones, it seems. Oh, okay. King goes for the boat mortar. Anti-soul round 1. Instead of spiking, he goes for the boat start. Zerk copies and goes for the sub in round 1 instead of going directly for the 1-0 farm. And seems to have greeted there, because he would have gone for a airburst directly. King knows that, so he forced a airburst and a farm cell there. So King is just outplaying. King has more money and more eco now, but I think they're about the same in money and defense. King gets his plantation up, yep. Zerk follows suit soon, unless King forces defense round 6. Zerk buys this plantation, but is down about $500. So King buys this new plantation here, and now he goes for the second farm here, what Zerk does. So you can see here, King up in eco, down in money now. Zerk is sending bloom boosted space blacks with no layering really within AI because they're space reds. Just grouped reds and space greens. King layering within AI with the grouped blacks, space blacks and grouped greens, getting some lives off of both players, it seems. King used that green rush to get him to chase and then send yellows directly after, so he forced a boost there. Zerk didn't have any layering, so he forced a mortar with greens and yellows. Zerk sold his farm, so we can see here that King's still up in eco after all of that rushing, but he's up a boost as well. Zerk is down, but Zerk has a better late game strategy with the glue stall being much cheaper than a mortar. And then we have the 2 air bursts, and I think Zerk is going for a reactor. Let's see here. Yep, there we go. King buys his burning stuff instantly, not even getting punished or not even getting rushed to buy it. King goes for his second plantation and sends a group to space, or just one space to red, testing to see how good his reactor will do. King up in money a ton, but down in farms. Is he going for? He went for a republic. All right, that's interesting. Zerk is able to defend any balloon rush that isn't balloon boosted and is below a ceramic. Forced a airburst there. They both are pretty tight in farms. Zerk forced a destroyer. Really well done. Zerk goes for the bank here. I think that is the play because he's able to get constant eco and money from that bank while trying to force a late game. King goes directly for the BIA, but I think that's a bad play because he can't really defend a Moab as easily. So a re-rush with a balloon boost is going to be really deadly here. And does King go down? He does. So it's a 1-1 so far in favor of nobody because it's a tie currently. I'll see you in the next game. Alright, here we are in the next game. And it was not a tie, I'm sorry. It's 2-0 for Zerk. I'm sorry about that. And we have Dartwing Farm Rom versus Ninja Farm Engie on YBR. That's too fast. Alright. So Zerk goes for the anti-stall start and starts spamming his farmers round 1. So he wants to get that sentries spawning really well. Goes for the passive no rushing round 2. So that's fair. I think that's the play because you want the money from the NG for NG. And then he goes for the anti-stall with the sprockets. I mean the faster engineering here. I don't think he can force the powerful darts till round 4 on long maps such as YBR. So that was a good play for Zerk. King going for the plantation instead of buying his very expensive powerful darts here. And leaking down to 100 lives and using all of his spikes there to do that. We have Zerk with a plantation. Both players have a plantation. Now King goes for his second farm here, so does Zerk. Zerk up in eco, but not a lot. But is up in a ton of lives, especially if you count the spikes. So King goes a bit aggressive here, stopping anti-stall from Zerk. That's what I'm thinking that he wants to do here. He forces a second engineer and keeps rushing, so that is quite interesting here. King uses a boost to defend Zerk's yellows that he sent. Zerk keeps sending space blacks to get King chasing. And then Zerk sells all of his his farmers so he can go for a better defense with sentries, I think. He doesn't really need it since he's going for a balloon trap anyways. Zerk just sends space here just to force a second powerful darts, it seems. King is going to need a depleted Plutonium on his Dartwing so he can pop Camo Lights here. In truth, also Zerk went for a balloon trap there around, I don't know when, I didn't see it. So we have a major offset in farms here. So we have 4 plantations, $1,500 in hand, 3 plantations, $800 in hand. That is a massive upset for Zerk. So I think King is going to be able to pull off around 16, 15 BIA. And Zerk, if he is going to try for a BIA, not going to be able to follow it. King might want to rush here, but maybe not. Alright, yeah, he does. Just to force a flash bomb, possibly. Unless it didn't get through as much. I don't think it did. Alright, so King got his run. 16 BIA. Zerk going for that factory play, it seems. They both send a Moab here, so this is going to be an interesting defend from both players. I think Zerk might go for a Jitsu. No, he goes for a boost. Does he die here? He does not. Maybe? No, okay. I don't know how he died. He defended that, actually. It looked like he was dead. Zerk sells his balloon trap. Manages to force a sell of his factory. Oh my god, that is majorly terrible for Zerk right now. He has 3 traps on screen, but he sends a BFB, hoping for a choke, I assume, because this game is lost if he can't kill him here. And King goes for double Mauler defend, boosts, sells his BIA, buys 2 impacts and his Hydra rocket pods. Alright, this is drained King in a half. King has 800 eco, Zerk has less than 300 with 2 traps on screen. This is insane for King right now. He is super up. Zerk goes for a choke rush here. He boosts a camo. No, he boosts camo ceramics, it seems, actually. King needs to defend. He does not, it seems, because he mistargeted. And he goes down here. So that's a 3-0 for Zerk right now. I'll see you in the next series of Zerk versus Noob Spammer. Alright, we're in the next series of Noob Spammer on the left, and then Zerk on the right. We have Helly Farm Ice versus Woods Farm Village. This should be quite interesting gameplay, because these strategies are a superb late game, but and also really good mid game. No? Black Spike? Zerk went for a 1-0 farm before going for a wizard, so that's quite greedy. And I think Noob noticed that, so he went for a more aggressive start. Alright, Zerk goes for his lightning bolts there, forced by the pinks. Definitely needed there unless he wanted to wake a ton. Zerk forces a snap freeze round 4, which is space pinks. That is a ton of defense for so cheap. Zerk goes for his round 6 plantation, definitely needed, and Noob just follows suit. Zerk going for another farm, not getting punished at all by Noob. Noob can force a fireball here with blacks, and now he does. A bit late. He sends into round 8 with these spaced whites here, forcing not much. Maybe another fireball? No, Zerk just grades it out with another plantation here. Zerk sends more blacks, hopefully forcing a double ice, I assume, but not doing so. And this is just a high money game, it seems. Alright, Zerk forces a quad darts, and Zerk buys a lightning here, right? No, he boosts. Both players boost, and then Noob bought a Razor Orders there. Zerk follows and buys a lightning bolt. Zerk all out? What? Why would you all out in this position? Yeah, Noob just defends on boost with an Arctic Wind to slow down the Booleans. And that's a 1-0 for Noob. I'll see you in the next game. Alright, we're here on the next losing map for Zerk, which is Swan Lake. And we have a Boat Farm Mortar versus Boat Farm Glue. This is going to be interesting for late game because Glue has the permanent slow practically, but Mortar has the big one and also the Mortar stall, which affects practically everything on screen. Both players going for a delayed boat start and just sending to force lives. We have a 261 start versus a 260. Let's see how this turns out. And I think that means 260 gets one more banana. Both players sending pinks to force the faster shooting. Yep, both go for it. But Zerk sends so much more there that he kind of loses a farm lead. And I think Zerk is down one banana. Okay. He's keeps sending. He's just losing so much money from those. I mean, he gets a few lives off, but is it really worth it when you lose so much money? Zerk Bloom boosts some blacks here, force another boat with Grape Shot. And that somewhat evens out the playing field in money. So does Noob. They both go for a Grape Shot here. Zerk goes for the faster shooting on it, sending him back a ton of money. Now he goes for a mortar, just to defend yellows. We have a double plantation from left side. And a mortar force? No. Wait, no, he doesn't even have a mortar. What am I talking about? So we see a balloon boost here, forcing a boost on run 9 from Zerk. And this is a major mishap from Zerk. He goes for a glue here. Well done. Not much else you could do there. Goes for a destroyer. Let's just take a look here. We have 500 eco, 2 plantations, 3 boosts from round 11, practically round 12 from Noob, compared to Zerk's 2.5 plantations. Not even a half, actually. That's a 0-0 farm. And no camo detection, practically. Yeah, this is just a major mishap from Zerk. He is so down. Camo weds get sent out, forcing camo detection from both sides. Noob up 100 eco. And goes for the third plantation. Zerk goes for around 14 bank. He didn't get it off around 13, so it's around 14 bank. And then DCs. I'll tell you who wins in the end of this, but I'll see you in the next game, it seems. We're here on the losing map from the previous game, and it's a Ninja Farm NG versus Heli Farm Ice. Both players anti-sewing round 1, quite interesting. And we don't see much of this matchup in private games, I guess, because it's quite annoying to play against. Noob goes for the stalling of round 2 so he can get his farm up round 3, it seems. And Zerk just goes for a 9-inch nails voluntarily. That is to anti-stall the rounds so much harder than normal if he just had a 0-0. We get to see a 1-0 ice, or is that a 1-1 ice? I can't tell. To help out with a simple ones. And Zerk goes for the sentries on his engineer, just helping out the anti-stall. Noob goes for that plantation instead of buying defense, but now he goes for the snap freeze. Leaks a bit because of it, but that's fine. Trying to stall the rounds out by setting balloons here. Gets to force a second engineer. Good job. Zerk is up in money right now, going for the second plantation, whereas Noob is still on like $700 going for that plantation himself. Zerk goes for a third farm instead of getting prepared for a bone trap run 10. Okay, so does Noob. He goes for a farm, then goes for quad arts. Would struggle a decent amount here to whites, I would say. Zerk has a plan for a BIA, maybe? No. Sorry, that was my mistake. He had 4K. I just realized he went for a bone trap instead. So both players pretty even here. Same farms, practically same eco. Only difference is that Zerk has a balloon trap, so he's going to be making $300 more per balloon trap. And now he starts to rush here. Zerk forces an instant boost from Noob. Noob goes for that farm, even down off boost. Goes for another Heli, just for another rush if he does. And both players got enough farms for a BIA, but Zerk seems to be going for a factory. Yep. So this is a replay or a repeat of YBR. Zerk going for that round 17 factory versus the round 16 BIA, I think, or it might have been round 15. Noob forces a boost, right? No, he doesn't go for a boost. He just goes for another bone trap with a Bonjutsu in the back for that Moab. Weaks a bunch there, but I think he's fine. I don't think those weds are there, really. Zerk sends a ton of zebras and whites here. Gets his eco up massively. Forces a boost and a decent amount of defense from Noob. I would say that was a worth rush, but he did spend a ton of money there. If you notice how many whites and zebras he sends. And Ice Charge just cleans it all up. But it does force a boost because he does send camos that somewhat gets past the downdraft and the razor orders. So we got a double trap round 21 from Zerk. pretty even Zico from the Boon Traps if you add that in. Zerk goes for a second factories plan, and then Noob just gets his second factory up around 22. This is looking terrible for Zerk right now, because Zerk needs to drain Helifarm Ice so it doesn't have money to defend or counter late game. Whereas Heli, if it just gets a few Apaches down with some ice stalls, it's able to outlast low factory games. Even high factory games, it just wins. I think Zerk realized this, so he needs to send a ton of balloons and ZMGs to the ZMG drain him. But that's not really going to happen with Helifarm Ice, because Heli Ice just layers into itself, allowing for more damage with the ice shards and Apache. So he doesn't really need much more defense here. This should be enough, right? Yeah, ice shards just cleans up so nicely. Zerk not even at his third factory, whereas I think Noob is going to be planning to just sell his BIA soon for another factory. He can buy it just straight up without selling the BIA. Now he goes for a third, so they're matched in farms, but Zerk is so down in money and eco from 0 eco versus 1.4k. Yeah, this is just a massive outplay from Noob right now. He can afford another factory straight up, yep. Sells the Arctic Wind, doesn't need it anymore because Apache can solo AI. And now he's just up 2 factories. Well, 1 now from Zerk buying that factory now. And I think a couple of ZMGs should do the trick to beat Zerk late game. Around 30, maybe 32 he might send. Or even earlier, like 31. Zerk goes for the round 30 space ZMG. He sent it at the end of round 29, so it would send it into round 30. Just getting his money back earlier. Looked like he died there, but he did not. Zerk bought a Sebo at the bottom, you can see, so if he does start to get rushed, he can just use that ability, sell it, or even use it as popping power. Noob trying to defend over rushing right now, but they both have half stalls, so they both get the even amount of time to defend. Zerk boosts to AI instead of defending with Sabos, so he doesn't have any boosts to defend this with. Well, currently, he has to wait until it comes back. Both players sending BFBs over the top of the ZMGs. This is because if they do pop the BFBs, they get popped into a ton of Moabs. And their defenses might not be able to handle that. Zerk boosts. He is so low on money right now that he can't even defend this. Especially the BFBs are going to keep layering over the top of the ZMGs. And that's just going to kill him. So let's see here. And I think Noob just defends, right? Hoya is able to defend so much better than NFE late game because of its Apache spam with ice shredding. Yep, Noob defends and Zerk goes down. So we'll see you on the next game here. So we've got DFA versus NFE again. Actually, no, we haven't seen the strategy yet from Noob. So this is going to be out of his comfort zone with DFA here. And this is Zerk's losing map, so he must feel pretty confident on this map to be against Noob on it. And Noob goes for a 105. I can't really see, but I'm assuming that's what he did with that start. And that's why he leaks so much. Noob changing his dart spot when he played against me. He put it where his second dart is, but you'll see that in another video. Leaking a ton here, going for much greedier playstyle, trying to help break that anti-stall from Zerk, but unable to do so right now. And just leaks a ton of lives. Already down all of his spikes, down 100 lives. This is just a terrible position for him right now. And I'm assuming he feels that. Zerk forcing so much defense and lives from Noob. Even a boost round 8. Does Noob go for Plantation here? Maybe. He does, okay. He's gonna struggle a bit around 10 because he needs to buy a Juggernaut. So Regal Edge could do a ton of damage to him. Yeah, he goes for that Juggernaut, but if he went with Regal Edge instead of normal Edge, he would have faced a ton of damage. So we could see here that Zerk is up like 80 eco right now. Oh, he all out. Okay. Zerk should defend this, right? Maybe not. Flash Bomb might not solo. Nope, it does. Alright. That's unlucky. Or not unlucky, just a rip. Oh, maybe he does die. He sends, but he boosts. Does he go down? I don't think so. Yeah. That's a GG's from Zerk. Well done, Hobohade. I'll see you in the next game. I think this is 2-2. Alright. We're here on the final game of this series with Helly Farm Ice versus Ace Farm Wizard. We get to see an anti-stall round 1 from Helly Ice. As usual, you want the opponent to have so little money that they aren't able to send a big enough rush to you and defend their own side. That's the main gist of anti-stalling round 1 and anti-stalling in general. So Wiz goes for that 1-0 Wizard just to buy a Lightning, hopefully. And he does. Good job, Zerk. Both farming round 4. I'm assuming they both go for their Plantation. Oh, Zerk going for the anti-soul breakage, just as Noob did to him with NFE. Sending Boons to stop that anti-stall. Noob goes for that Plantation because he knows these pinks won't do much. And then the Boon boosted blacks get destroyed by a 2-1 ice. Zerk goes for Implantation. Really well done. Not much else you could do there in general because the ice just shreds any rush that you send, and especially with combo with the Helly just breaking any space balloons that get past. So Noob sent a massive yellow rush there, forcing a double fireball from Zerk. Goes for this Plantation. Both go for the Plantation. Both pretty even in eco as well. And Zerk is down all of his spikes, whereas Noob has both of them. Noob using another Bloom Boost. He's down 2 Bloom Boosts. Goes for a double Lightning, run 12, or run 11. Forcing a Razor Artist from Noob. And is this a BIA game? I think so. Both are on pace for around 15, or even 16. But Noob might rush here. He does not. He just keeps on farming. I think they both want their BIAs, and Noob knows that he might outlast. So Zerk goes for the bank here. More reliable than a BIA, but not as powerful. Forcing a Fire Breath, or a Dragon's Breath actually. And Noob just goes for the BIA, but he messes up and gets it around 17 instead of 16. That's unlucky. And I think the same thing happened to Zerk. So that's a massive mistake from both players there. You lose so much money from that. Alright. ODS has been forced, and I'm pretty sure that's a cash out from Zerk. So Zerk has about 2k in hand and 2k in BIA. Goes for a farm now. Noob hasn't cashed out yet. So he's got a ton of money in his BIA saved up. Probably 3k more in there than Zerk does. Forcing a ton of defense here with his BFB, I would assume. Goes for a Phoenix. Does he go for a defend with a boost? He does, alright. Noob kind of struggling to AI. Maybe that's just lag. And Zerk did defend that BFB really easily with ODS Micro and boost on the Phoenix. Well done. Zerk is up in eco because of that BFB send. Ice Shard is forced from AI for no reason, really. Does he die here, actually? No? Lag. So both players catching up in eco, I guess. So yeah, this is where the cashed out comes in play. Zerk down in farms now because he wasn't able to match his money in BIAs. So Noob is just up a factory. And I think that's going to snowball into a massive outfarm late game. Especially with Noob being up a boost, that's going to be really important since he does have Ice Saw. Okay, both decide to sell their BIAs here. Good play, good play. Zerk is up in money and eco. Noob sends a Moab here. Maybe trying to force more defense and stall his farming. Noob defends AI really easily, actually. And forced a Tempest. That is a lot of money that you don't want to be spending on Moab around 25. Pretty even farms right now. But Zerk is just up so much money in hand. But he did spot a Tempest Tornado again. That's unlucky. Even eco, and even farm. So this game is really even right now for some reason, compared to how he was up a moment ago. Noob goes for the very cheap defend instead of going for an Apache there. Very interesting. Goes for a double ice just to defend AI. Both at 5 factories. Noob is up at like 5k now because of how cheap his defense is with Heli Farm Ice. And I think he should gain a big lead there. Or not, he bought an Apache after selling a Razor Rotors. No, that was the downdraft he sold. Now he sold the Razor Rotors. So they should even out in farms. Let's just take a look here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 from Zerk, and 7 from Noob, but Noob does have 17k on hand practically. Noob sending him ZMG early on instead of going for more farms, but he does now. Alright. Seems Zerk is going for that top Spectre now. You have to remember, this is the final game of the series and going to be the final game of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Zerk defending with a couple of Phoenixes and GZ. Well played. Noob keeps on farming, so I don't think he expects to get all outed soon from Zerk. Zerk using an odd place to GZ right now, but I guess it's his only option. Both players are constantly farming still. Very odd. They should be just focusing on defense, I would say, because they are going to need to have a ton of defense because the round ramping going to be very difficult to defend. And yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed me reviewing Zerk versus King and then Zerk versus Noob Spammer. The next series, this is going to be another series that I'm starting where I'm reviewing the tournament games. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be doing another one soon. See you on the next one. Bye.